Yeah, it's fine. There's never anything to talk about anyway. Nice.
Hello, everyone. You have that up. My apologies. Welcome back to me, the scuffed streamer. Everything seems to go wrong when I produce, but it's okay because we get through it eventually. I'm here with Doom, who is probably not best pleased at that intro.
It's fine. Probably better than what I could have come up with. Because I don't know anything about, like, oval racing. Besides it go around. So, whatever you managed to do, that was fine.
Yeah, so what we do is we go in a straight line, then we turn left a bit, then a straight line, then turn left a bit, and then that's a lap. If you turn left too much, you crash. If you turn right, you crash. And if you hit other people, you crash. So that's the way this works. As practice is just finishing up here, as I see there's some people driving on the infield, which is not where we're going to be driving today. We'll be going only on the oval. Because
I do appreciate how iRacing lets you exit the main track to explore a bit.
Yeah, you get to explore a little bit. Let's explore some liveries here. As the
Now
first
that
street stock
is
race.
a saucy livery.
That is a saucy livery. First street stock race of the season means that we get to see what liveries people may be running. This is Tom Alder in the number 17, who appears to simply be a minion. We'll see how that goes for him. Maybe we'll see Gru somewhere. What's Charlotte running? That's boring. Try again. Pete is running the Apple car, as usual. Unfortunately, they've got 6 drivers, so this will be very quick to look through. Jonan is running a Rev Sport livery, as predicted. You got Marley's running. That's not a Rev Sport livery.
I think that is one of the cursed liveries that we'll see today.
That is one of the liveries full time. And then Louis is running a Martini car, which is interesting. Also start looking at some qualifying results, because I think that'll be fun. So at the moment, Peter Stather, resident American, is on pole position. First row of the grid for him. See what he does on his second and final lap round. Probably going to be an improvement. His first laps tend to be sighters. Never mind, not in a street stock. As Louis Jordan Charles gets fairly close. very close even, but not quite able to get the lap in. And
yeah, I don't think I've seen Louis competing in the BUSR before. Is this a debut for someone?
no, it's a return.
Ah,
Well, he's been here. He exists. So that should, in theory, everyone's done their 2 laps. That may tick the session over. So we'll see whether it does. It's not looking like it's going to, admittedly. See what Marley's doing. Having fun, I think, is the word to describe that.
the times are actually very close to each other. Marley probably has the biggest difference between himself and Charlotte there. Everything else is very close together. So this might be a very interesting race to see, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it could well be interesting. It's always close when it's on an oval anyway, especially since...
No, not when I drive.
Well, on this oval in these cars, it's easy flat all the way. Slipstream is a massive thing. So no matter who you are, you can stick to the back of someone fairly easily. Take a look at the information. So Charlotte Motor Speedway in Concord, not Charlotte. Very nice, very useful. 88% humidity, doesn't really matter. 23 degrees track temperature. Yeah, could matter.
It's fine.
Who knows, that's alright. 8 km/h winds. Yeah. There's some wind. Might do something. These cars are not the heaviest. Well, they're not the lightest either, but you know what I mean. In comparison to other stock cars, at least. But we wait for the qualifying to finish. And the waiting is over. Let's take a look at the grid for this race. So, as I said before, very short grid, but that's okay. We're still going to have fun with it. Peter Stather and Louis Jordan Charles are the front row. Middle row going to be Jonah Turner and Tom Alder. And Charlotte Perkins and Marley Watts. Making up the back row. Complete even split 3-3 of students and alumni.
Now, who do you think will win this first race here today?
That's a difficult one to answer, purely because of how... Well, this could basically be random. I mean, there's a bit of skill involved, but it's... If you keep yourself out of trouble, it's like... You're always going to be there. But Pete definitely has the experience on the field. I think Louis has done a bit of oval enjoying himself, so he's probably going to be doing quite well. And they are bantering each other with a little bit of contact before the start. Marley's going for a wander. Why not? We'll see how this goes as they are lined up now. Ready to get started, just going through turn number 3. Because yes, on a track with 2 turns, there are 4 turns. You're welcome, says America, as the pace car pulls off to the left-hand side. All we wait for now is for that green flag to wave, and there it is.
And we go racing around the Charlotte Oval. Right away, I don't remember whose car is which. It looks like Stadler's leading at the moment. Everybody's keeping up still. Nobody's made a horrendous crash on the first turn yet. That's good to see.
Yeah, it's always useful when we don't have a massive accident. First time of asking. Or might have a small one. Nearly had a small one. A little bit of contact mid-turn, but Tom and Charlotte both kept it held together. Also got side by side here for Jonan and Louis. I mean, Jonan's got the inside, but he's got nowhere to go with Pete in front of him.
Looks like Marley Watts is falling back a bit there.
He should keep up, in theory. I say in theory. Not exactly catching, but see what happens here. Got a little bit of bump drafting action going on towards the start of the lap. Is this all just going to be pick your lanes, run nicely in a pack, and see who works well with who? It looks like Jonan's being quite a good pusher at the moment to keep Peter Stather in the lead on the bottom lane.
Yeah, just a bit of bump drafting here helps them stay in the lead. Of course, towards the end, you want to stop bump drafting and overtake, but we're nowhere near the end yet. We've only just completed 5 laps. No, still 4.5. It's hard to tell where the lap starts and ends on an oval because, well, it's all the same.
I mean, this one's fairly easy because you got this bit which is different. You got tracks like Bristol Motor Speedway. You've got no clue because both sides have a pit lane, and it's only what? It was really short, so you have no idea. Struggle to even know which pit lanes you will sometimes at that track, but no such issues here. It looks like that top lane is gaining a bit of momentum. If you can stick it around the outside in the corners, then you're better off up there, off of the turns, because you get the slingshot almost. You don't really want to be going 3 wide on lap 6. You managed to sort it out.
Yeah, it looks like Watts has caught up and is now in P4.
Yeah, he's just sitting in the pack at the moment, doing some nice stuff. Let's go to the gyro cam of Jonan Turner, staring at the personal computer. Giving a nice bump draft to our leader. Maybe getting a bit loose. I don't think he's trying to change lane there, but it just sort of happened. Maybe seeing an opportunity to get past Pete now. We're going 3 wide into turn 3.
Looks like Charlotte got a bit loose there.
Yep, they are getting a bit loose, stealing air off of each other, but it looks like Jonan Turner's seen his opportunity to lead that bottom train as we're 3 wide at the back as well. And that's Charlotte up into the wall, coming back down the track, just trying to get into that slipstream as quickly as possible to not lose the pack. Because it's going to be a long race of driving on your own if you lose this pack. But we've seen that's what you got to do at this track. You got to see your opportunity and go for it, and Jonan did just that.
Yeah, quite nicely done as well. Looks like it wasn't very long as Stather is mounting a comeback here. Around the outside. But Jonan's line is too strong.
Going to ebb and flow depending on which lane you're in at what part of the track, but if Pete and Louis can work well together in that top lane, then they can probably try and get past. The bottom lane tends to be very good in the street stock, where you can just sort of stick there. Way! Charlotte's around and over the grass. That should be a caution. Hello, iRacing?
I don't think it is because there wasn't a contact with any walls.
Okay, apparently car onto the grass does not cause a caution, probably because you're not on the racing surface. But, try and see how that happened. Not gonna see it, so I'm gonna rewind time. Take a quick look. Just getting below that blue line, maybe? So, dips below the blue line, comes up into Louis. There's basically, unfortunately, a self-spin there. But status quo as we come back to it. I feel like a golf commentator more than a racing commentator at this point.
I mean, oval racing isn't the most exciting at all times.
It's fine when you've got a big pack so you can go and look at everything and develop stories and stuff. But we have 6 drivers and currently a pack of 5, so it's not going to be ideal, really. Especially since it's so difficult to make progress at this track in these cars, because you are entirely relying on someone making a mistake, like Pete did to get Jonan there. As getting a bit dicey, but we're going to stay on it and come back into formation soon enough. We're still just riding 2x2 with Tom Alder choosing whatever lane seems to be beneficial at the time. At this point, if you're at the back, it doesn't really matter where you go. You just sort of sit there and wait for someone to crash in front of you and hope you're not in it.
Yeah, I was going to say, hope you're not involved in the crash.
Getting a bit touchy as we go further into the depths of this race. Jonah may be pushing the low line a little bit higher than it's been before. Trying to unsettle Pete a bit. Again, Jonan keeping that low lane a bit higher. We've seen it before, a little bit of bumping. We go through the kink towards the start-finish. Truly high-octane action with high-octane commentary.
Exactly. Yeah, it does look like Charlotte Perkins is falling back now. What is it, like half a lap difference?
Yes. In fact, I might have a spotter cam. I don't. You can see while we're coming off a turn 2. He's just there. Just driving. Hoping that there's going to be a caution at some point.
We are the BUSR after all.
Yeah.
I think that's to be expected. I'd be surprised if there isn't a caution in this race.
I mean, if these lanes keep coming as close as they are, there may as well. There may be some contact at some point which can end up in someone in a wall. Which would be interesting. Also at the same time, now's the point where if you're seeing any sort of gap, you might start to go for it. And we've got a few laps left now. These last 22 laps were basically the test of who would win to the line if certain things happened. So it looks like Jonan will do well to stay on that bottom and try and push the high lane up further, as he was ahead at the line, coming on to lap 23.
I'm surprised how well everyone's stayed together. I really thought that it would have been a bit more broken up than this, but no, they're all very close. About 1/10 of a second between the lead and the back of the pack. Of course, Charlotte Perkins 20 seconds behind, but just haven't been able to catch up after having that spin.
Yeah, I mean, spin was just a bit of an L, to be honest. As Pete's dropped slightly further back, and it looks like Marley's been able to get to the inside of Jonan here, so we're going to have 3 wide into turn 1. This is where the action actually starts. Marley is on that blue line, so he's got to be very, very careful. But it looks like it is going to be okay. Fall in line. Louis is going to choose to support the bottom lane. Maybe try and get underneath him himself. Going through the grass to do it.
Ooh.
And they've taken the white flag. Is there going to be a caution? I don't even know if cautions are enabled at this point, to be honest. Because no caution, so it's going to be a straight fight here between Louis and Marley. And, well, Louis got the inside line, so good luck, Marley. Admittedly, probably not going to be anything you can do at this point. Apart from that, you can just come down the line and spin him. Who is it going to be to limp home first? Louis there. Where's Jonan? Going too slowly to get anywhere. Louis limping to the line. He's going to try and hit Pete out of the way, but it's not going to work.
Oh, that's so unfortunate.
Let's see what the hell happened on that first one. We're not going to know. Oh well. Let's see if I can find it. I'm not going to be able to find it. Oh well.
I don't remember exactly what happened, but it seemed like somebody got spun around, taking out everybody at the back. Then it was just Marley and Louis at the front. And then Marley clipped Louis' back, I think. And they just both went around and caught Stadler in the process.
Yeah, there was all sorts of carnage, but
Charlotte Perkins made it into P4 though.
Yeah, in the end, the results show us Pete winning, Marley 2.7 seconds off. I don't know what happened to Louis to give him +1 lap, because he was right there by Pete.
I think probably went into the pit lane.
Could have done. I don't think anyone would have hit the incident limit because it was quite clean until lap 25, which is, well, tends to be how it is, quite clean until
it isn't.
Yeah, exactly. But we've got a 5-minute warm-up here. Hopefully it can be skipped. I don't think we really need to warm up. We're warm. At least I'm warm. My bedroom's 25 degrees.
Yeah. I mean, I'm alright. I wouldn't say I'm particularly warm, but I'm not cold. Just mid.
Yeah, and let's follow the only car round track. Unfortunately, it is the most boring livery on the track. Yes, that is a direct insult. Please download Trading Paints and get a better livery. But you know what we'll blame the turnout on?
You clearly don't remember my liveries.
Yeah, they were fantastic. More cursed is better. But, we're gonna.
I think Charlotte is going with a theme though. I think last week her car was similar.
Admittedly, those are probably the default colours given by iRacing. This is firmly a default livery with some sponsors attached. I'm going to assume she has a Thrustmaster wheel and an Intel CPU.
Now you see, I'm very surprised that there isn't an AMD sticker you could put on the car. Because I had to go with Intel a few times because there wasn't an AMD one available. I got sick of putting Logitech as my second one.
Why just make your own liveries, isn't it?
Yeah, but effort.
Put whatever you want. Oh, we're going to see some funny. Never mind. Just straight across the grass. There was no funny there. It's going to be funny here. Bang. That's what happens when you get a street stock car loose too quick. Pete's found his home in a wall. How
Lovely.
Nice. Where are we on track? Never know. Pit lane exit. Anyway, warm-up's finishing. So we can go back to golf commentary over racing rather than golf commentary over a street stock in a wall. Though we might see some of that as well, who knows?
So it's going to be a slightly longer race. 38 laps this time.
Yes.
Should probably take about 20 minutes if I was to imagine. Maybe a bit less.
Yeah, around about 20 minutes with no cautions. Because who knows if there are going to be cautions, considering we didn't have any before. And we are lining up now as the final race ended. As the first race ended, may I say. So, different pack order, but same leader. Oh, they're leaning off each other. Get a room. Nothing like some contact before the race.
Yeah, I'd love to see it.
Go on, Pete. Turn right. Do it. Funny. Anyway, let's see what may happen off the start. As the flagman's got the green in his hand once again and is waving it here for the feature race of round 2. BUSR iRacing Summer Championship.
Right away, Pete has a good start there. Marley not far behind, but it's already more than side by side. What I'm trying to say.
Yeah. There's already distinct lanes. Which, to be fair, they do start in distinct lanes, so that's probably not the most surprising thing I've ever said. One, two, three are alumni, 4, 5, 6 are students. Interesting.
I find that in iRacing, the alumni tend to perform better than the students. I'm not sure why that is. Like, is the learning curve for iRacing just so different than to other games like ACC?
I mean, you just tend to have more people who have had iRacing for longer in the alumni class, to be honest. Just kind of luck of the draw with how it is. But we were seeing some 3-wide action, nearly seeing it again. As Louis Jordan Charles made his way to... Jonan, where are you going? Jonan was trying to go a bit higher. There was a car already there. Getting a bit close. Marley giving the ultimate squeeze. That is a professional term, and I will use it as such. Tom Alder now finding himself ahead of the high line. Doesn't seem to be the best place to be at the moment because they're not exactly organised. And he's getting very loose. Doesn't seem to be completely in control of the minion car.
I wonder if a minion is driving it.
Ah, they can't see over the wheel.
Yeah, that would explain a lot.
Maybe next time we'll have a Gru livery and then we'll do much better because we'll know that Gru is driving rather than the minions. This race is turning into a bit of a different dynamic to the first one. We've not got two defined lanes, we've got the front two and then chaos is what we have.
Yeah, I think that's just everyone scrambling to try overtake, and we have contact.
Cautions are enabled. We figured it out. That's going to be a pit lane speeding penalty if you're not careful. Nah, you're alright. Cool. So Tom Alder's going to take his fast repair, and we're going to try and figure out what happened here. Get a different camera angle. Hopefully. Six of one, half a dozen of the other, probably. See if we can get El Blimp. Yeah. Probably put that one more on Charlotte, to be honest. And choosing not to enter a closed pit, despite the fact that the only penalty you will get is an end of line penalty. But you'll already be at the end of the line because you're last anyway. Did I hear an engine blow up? Yes. Listen. Bang! Dead.
Charlotte not liking what's happening in this race, deciding to end the car's life.
This is why we enter closed pit lanes when we're last. Because we can take the EOL penalty, because it won't do anything, because we're already last. But that's part of the learning curve. I don't think Charlotte's really done any oval before. And there are specific cases like that where you probably need some knowledge to help you around. As we are seemingly nearly 2x2, but pace car lights are still on, so it's going to be still out for another lap. Probably going to be going in after the next lap. But unless we get many more cautions, I think that's going to be Charlotte's race basically dealt with already again. I'm assuming they're going to sort themselves out eventually. There you go. Sort of sorting themselves out. And now Charlotte is in the chat. That you should have gone into the pits. Your engine was dead. We learned this for next time. Have a fast repair. As we can see a completely clean and lovely Minions livery. For some reason when I said minion there, I thought of mignon. Just filet mignon. Anyway, we're going to be going green again as Pete enters the restart zone and chooses to go right at the end of it, which is no surprise, because if he went any earlier, he'd probably be jumped. And yes, it was a 4-minute tow, but if you go into a closed pit, you only get an end of line penalty, and you would have already been at the end of the line. This is something to learn for next time. We all crash on ovals. Oh my. Let's watch the field shoot past. And Charlotte is once again bound to a life of misery and loneliness on the track. With
Maybe
no
he'll be able
one
to catch up
around.
this time, but it's unlikely.
No. Looks like Tom Alder got shoved out to the wall. Kept enough momentum to be with the pack though, luckily. Otherwise you will suffer the same fate as that blue and pink car in the background. I think they've had enough of being bored, and they're just deciding to race very closely now for no reason other than funny. Which I approve of this message.
Now what they should do is they should just stop, spin around, and go backwards. Like just
Yes.
drive around backwards.
Demolition Derby.
I've attempted that once. It did not go well.
We will make racing a semi-contact sport. As Pete manages to get to the front. Just had enough momentum to zip it past Marley. Every time we come onto the back stretch, we get reminded of the 6th car in the race that is slowly getting further and further away from the pack. lapping only about 2/10 slower than the pack, but not able to go any faster.
How much time is still left in the race? There's a chance you might get lapped.
Maybe. I mean, she's already 3 down, another one won't do anything different, really. No such thing as classification in an oval race. You either cross the line at the finish or you don't. You can have completed literally 1 lap. But if that lap is the last one and you cross the finish line, you're good.
So in other words, because you wouldn't want to be just going around in a circle, because this is boring, right? You can just, like, go and chill out on the grass, have a picnic, and then when the time comes, turn your engine back on and cross the line.
You will be lost, but yes. Shall we find some facts about Charlotte, North Carolina?
We can do. We did just pass the halfway mark of the race.
Great. Look, climate data will be a fun one. What do you think is the overall record high temperature recorded in Charlotte, North Carolina?
Okay, let's see. Trying to remember where Carolina is. Well, North Carolina.
This would have been Confederacy, just about.
Okay.
That helps you.
I'm going to say 36 degrees Celsius.
Very close. 40 degrees Celsius.
A bit hotter than I thought.
And what do you think the record low was?
Now this is a harder one, I think.
Yes.
I'm gonna say negative 12.
A bit further off with... Oh dear, everyone's crashed!
The yellow flag is out.
Anyway, let's take a look at that and then we can go back to our Charlotte, North Carolina facts. That's a bit late. It's already happened at that point. Stop! Limp cam to the rescue. The stewards will analyse. Analysis complete. Skill issue. So what we saw there was basically played at a quarter speed. They're all very close to each other. The low lane wants to come up a bit, the high lane wants to go down a bit. And Louis comes in, basically taps Pete in the wrong place in the car, sending him into a bit of a spin. He also sends Jonan up into the wall because he was also tapping him. And Pete can't control the spin. Because good luck with that. And then comes up into Louis. And they have a massive accident. And now they're in the pits repairing their damage. And now Charlotte will get a lap back. Good news. Anyway, speaking of Charlotte, you said minus 12.
Yeah,
Actually,
how far off am I?
Actually, minus 21.
Wow, okay. That's a lot colder than I expected.
Yeah. I mean, the average low for the coldest month of January is basically 0. So that was quite an anomalous day at that point. See if I can find any more facts. So I will tell you that Charlotte has an estimated population of around 900,000 people. We see Marley Watts coming to the pit. The largest employer in the Charlotte region is Atrium Health, which is a healthcare and social assistance company. How many employees do you think it has?
1,300.
35,000.
Wow.
Out of the
Okay,
900,000
I am like getting more and more off with my numbers now.
I've done my calculation the wrong way. So they actually have 3% of the Charlotte, North Carolina population working for them. And the second biggest has 24,000, which is Wells Fargo, a bank. More fun facts, this time a racing fun fact. The NASCAR Hall of Fame is located in Charlotte, North Carolina. And it opened in 2010, had a construction cost of $160 million.
That's a lot of dollars.
If I could have some of those, I'd be a very happy man.
Yeah, same.
And I'd change them to pounds, because they're worth more.
Of course, of course.
Who is in the NASCAR Hall of Fame? Can you, Doomskull, name anyone in the NASCAR Hall of Fame?
Nope.
Any driver at all?
I do not know a single driver in
No.
NASCAR.
Does the name Dale Earnhardt ring a bell?
Nope.
No, fair enough. There are 61 individuals in the NASCAR Hall of Fame. Only 26 of which are solely drivers.
Interesting.
47 have been drivers. 22 were inducted as owners, 5 were inducted as promoters, and 5 were inducted as crew chiefs. Shows you how important they might be. Here we go, Tom Alder leading this one off this time. As he truly screws up the start, I'm going to be honest. He went and then he kind of didn't. Now we're 3 wide and Pete's off in the lead again.
That's a substantial lead. It will close in maybe a lap time.
Well, see, Pete might have a black flag actually, because you're not supposed to pass before the start. Though he was round the outside, so I don't know. But he was past the leader, so we'll see how it is. He doesn't go in, so I'm going to assume that there's no black flag there. So unfortunately for Tom Walker, he's dropped from first to fourth in a lap, and that's not ideal, it's fair to say. I try and make some of that back. Looking to the inside of Marley Watts. He is slightly alongside. Get towards being fully along. Not quite enough.
The cars are still just going vroom vroom to the left.
Yeah. I'm gonna surprise you with NASCAR trivia this time.
Okay.
The most successful, and some people may argue the GOAT of NASCAR, Richard Petty, competed in his first NASCAR sanctioned event in 1958. Would you like to guess the year of his last NASCAR sanctioned event as a driver?
95.
92. You were close. But that's still a lot longer than most other sports longevities.
Yeah, that is a very long time.
Considering he competed in every season from 1958 all the way up to 1992, at least in some capacity. That's quite a lot.
Yeah, it's 34 seasons.
And would you like to guess how many points he scored in his highest scoring season?
I don't know how the point system works in NASCAR, so if you want to explain that real quick.
No.
Okay, I'm just gonna have to guess. Gonna say 148.
You are quite far off. It's actually 42,472.
Ooh. Okay.
Let's find out what the point system was. At that time in the 1967 season. Aha. So, in 1967, The points that you got per race were determined by the amount of prize money the race was worth.
Well, that's totally fair.
Yeah. So if the prize money for the race was $4,000, then you'd get 200 points with getting first, which scaled all the way up to 25k. You'd get 1,250 points. It's quite a lot of points.
So that guy must have gotten a lot of money.
Yes. Many money. And did something interesting happen that I missed? Because we appear to not be one big pack anymore. I didn't bother looking. I was looking at Wikipedia. Oh,
Well,
hello.
now something's happened.
The yellow flag is out.
And our second caution. That's going to throw us into overtime. Ah, you don't know what overtime is, do you?
Nope.
Well, what happened there was Charlotte got spun by P. That wasn't very nice. She has learned her lesson and is now coming into the pit lane. Good. So, overtime. Basically, we extend the race for a certain amount of times. In this, we're probably running like 3 times where we can do this. So that when you go green again, you'll be on 2 laps to go. Trying to locate shot. Where have you gone? Why are you there?
That's an interesting route
There's an ambulance
out
there.
of the pit lane.
Anything else?
Now, can you drive through people in iRacing?
I think there's an invisible wall there.
Ah.
Or was I wrong about the overtime thing, considering we're on lap 38 of 38?
I have seen our events end under yellow before.
Yeah. That might happen. We'll find it. But presuming it does, do we want to do any interviews? I don't have any interesting questions, I'm going to be honest.
Neither do I. I mean, it's just like, so how did the race go? Oh yeah, went around in a circle.
Cool. So I'm assuming we can just skip those then.
I think perhaps this week we can.
Cool.
There's only 6 drivers in total. It wasn't going to be particularly interesting.
There you go. We're finished. We're done.
What a
Due to
fascinating
no one-
finish.
Yeah. Very close. Due to no one showing.
Oh, I just noticed though,
bothering. Go on.
Turner is in P1.
Yes, Jonan is in P1. Congratulations to him.
I think
A
this is one of the
student
rare times
won a
that a
race.
student actually wins the race, yeah.
Yeah. Celebrating very dangerously. Well, that's okay, because it's oval racing. You could literally put a guy into a wall and no one would care. So let's grab up the results for this one. What confirmation? Let's hide the rest of that. Don't need to see that. So Jonan has come P1, Marley in P2, Pete in P3, Louis P4, and then Tom, Alder, and Charlotte Perkins P5 and 6. Interesting. Let's go to the cams so we can at least see our faces once. Hi. My hair's a mess. But that's okay. It's because of the thrilling racing we've been seeing.
Yeah, it's like you were actually in the car.
Time.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting end there towards the end. Yeah. Words.
Yeah, interesting end at the end. I like the end.
Looks like it was an unfortunate day for Charlotte Perkins, coming last in both races. Despite the really good debut last time.
Yeah. Last is not the ideal place to be. You ideally want to be first. It is like golf in that sense, but you know, what can we do? Can't be good on road and oval necessarily. So I think we're just about good to leave it here, right?
Yeah, probably.
Cool. Well, I can guarantee you there'll be more action on Saturday in F1, as they will be going to Qatar for round 2.
Yeah, actually, where are we heading to next week in iRacing?
In iRacing, we are heading to Virginia International Raceway South in the MX-5s. MX-5 race is going to be good.
Indeed.
And then in between those two races, we're going over to ACC, which will be going to Brands Hatch, which can be very, very funny, very redacted at times. Some may say that's an OG reference right there. Only the originals will remember redacted.
I am not sure I do. I am not OG enough.
You weren't around at the redacted times. But yeah, anyway. This has been one of the broadcasts of all time. And now we're going to end one of the broadcasts of all time. See you when I next see you.
See ya. Great. I won't lie, iRacing is just like pretty dead. Yeah, but iRacing costs too much money, and it's a subscription.